Most of us don't give much thought to our kidneys until something goes wrong. Yet these two small bean-shaped organs are working day and night, quietly cleaning our blood like devoted housekeepers. When they falter, the consequences ripple through every part of life. Energy fades, swelling appears, blood pressure rises, and independence slips away. What makes it even more unsettling is that kidney disease often creeps in silently. Over 850 million people worldwide live with chronic kidney disease, and many don't even realize it until the damage is advanced. But here's the hopeful truth. So much of your kidney health rests not in the doctor's office, but on your dinner plate. I'm Dr. Brian, and welcome to Channel Vital Science for Seniors. Today I'll share the 9 common foods that slowly wear down your kidneys, and the simple, nourishing swaps that can help protect them for years to come. Imagine your kidneys like a pair of delicate sieves, constantly straining impurities from your blood. When too much salt flows through those filters, it's like pouring thick sand into a fine net. The pressure builds, the fibers stretch, and over time, the net begins to fray. Sodium makes your body hold on to water, which swells your blood volume, raises your blood pressure, and places a relentless burden on those fragile kidney filters. Many of my older patients are surprised to learn they're consuming far more than the recommended teaspoon of salt each day. It doesn't just come from the salt shaker on the table. It hides in processed meats, canned vegetables, snack chips, breads, and even certain cheeses. I recall a patient, Mrs. Thompson, who loved her morning ham sandwich. Her blood pressure was creeping higher each year, and her lab work showed her kidneys struggling. By simply swapping processed meats for fresh turkey slices, seasoning with herbs instead of salt, and adding colorful bell peppers for crunch and vitamin C, she not only lowered her blood pressure but also brought her creatinine levels back toward normal. It wasn't about giving up taste, it was about giving her kidneys a fighting chance. For you, that could mean reading food labels carefully, choosing fresh produce, rinsing canned goods before cooking, and seasoning generously with garlic, lemon, or rosemary instead of salt. These are small daily choices that can protect kidney function and keep you feeling vibrant. Now let's talk about a different kind of hidden danger: oxalates. These are natural compounds found in many healthy plants, but when eaten in large amounts, they can become sharp little crystals inside your body. Imagine tiny shards of glass swirling through your kidneys. Over time, they can clump together, forming kidney stones that feel, as one of my patients once told me, like giving birth through your back. Foods such as spinach, rhubarb, beets, almonds, peanuts, sesame seeds, and even dark chocolate are rich in oxalates. Alone, they aren't villains. But when your kidneys are already under strain, these foods can push them toward trouble. The good news is, you don't have to ban them forever. Cooking methods matter. Boiling spinach or beets, for example, allows a good portion of the oxalates to seep into the cooking water, making the food gentler on your kidneys. Pairing high oxalate vegetables with calcium-rich foods like yogurt or cheese helps too, because calcium binds with oxalate in the gut before it ever reaches your kidneys. I remember a gentleman named George who swore by his daily spinach smoothies. After a painful round of kidney stones, we simply shifted his greens to kale and collards, taught him to boil spinach occasionally, and encouraged plenty of water. His stone risk plummeted, and he still enjoyed a diet rich in flavor and nutrients. The lesson is moderation, preparation, and balance. Because even healthy foods can become harmful if our kidneys are vulnerable. Sugar has a way of sneaking into our lives, whispering comfort, but quietly draining our health. For the kidneys, excess sugar is like a constant flood of sticky syrup flowing through their filters. Over time, this not only raises blood sugar levels, but also inflames and scars those fragile tissues. Sugary drinks are the worst offenders. Sodas, sports drinks, energy boosters, all packed with fructose that spikes uric acid levels. High uric acid makes crystals that can trigger gout, and those same crystals irritate the kidneys. I had a patient, Ellen, who couldn't get through her afternoon without a can of cola. She complained of aching joints and fatigue, and her labs showed high creatinine. Once she swapped her daily soda for sparkling water with a splash of lemon, she noticed her swelling eased and her energy returned. Science backs this up. A 2019 study in the Journal of the American Society of Nephrology linked high-sugar beverage intake to faster kidney decline. And it's not just drinks. Packaged baked goods, candies, and even low-fat snacks often hide mountains of sugar. For someone over 50, each spoonful adds weight, raises blood pressure, and chips away at independence. But here's the empowering truth. By cooking more meals at home, flavoring water with fruit, or enjoying naturally sweet berries instead of packaged desserts, you reclaim control. Your kidneys feel the relief, your energy rises, and your future opens up with more possibility. Processed meats are often advertised as quick and convenient, but for your kidneys, they're like sending in a double assault team. First comes the sodium, which we've already seen raises blood pressure and forces the kidneys to strain. Then come the preservatives, nitrates, nitrites, and other additives, which your kidneys must filter out like unwanted house guests, leaving a mess behind. Finally, there's the heavy protein load. Now, protein itself isn't bad, but when it comes mostly from processed meats like bacon, hot dogs, sausages, and deli slices, it creates acidic waste products that make the kidneys work overtime. I remember one of my longtime patients, Harold, who enjoyed his breakfast with bacon every morning. When his blood tests showed rising creatinine and early protein in the urine, we had a heartfelt talk. He decided to trade half his bacon days for oatmeal topped with berries. And when he did eat meat, he chose fresh chicken or lean beef he cooked himself. Within months, his labs steadied, and he even lost weight around the middle. The irony is that these foods marketed as convenient often steal away the very independence we want to preserve as we age. By leaning on fresh cuts of meat, seasoning with herbs, and aiming for balance rather than excess protein, you not only protect kidney health, but also preserve the energy to do the things you love. Walking with friends, traveling, playing with grandkids. Your choices at the grocery store truly echo into your future. Caffeine is a curious friend. In small amounts, it perks us up, sharpens our mind, and even offers some antioxidant benefits. But too much can become a sly thief, especially for the kidneys. Think of caffeine as a faucet turned on high. It makes you pee more often, draining water from your body. If you don't replace those fluids, your kidneys are left trying to clean the blood with very little water, like a dishwasher running without enough rinse cycle. Over time, this concentrated environment can encourage kidney stones and even push blood pressure higher. I once treated a retired teacher, Margaret, who loved her daily pots of coffee. She prided herself on keeping up with her grandkids, but she complained of dizziness and occasional muscle cramps. Her blood pressure was creeping up, and she was chronically dehydrated. By gently shifting her from 5 or 6 cups down to 3 and encouraging a glass of water alongside each cup, her symptoms eased and her labs showed better kidney function. Most healthy adults can safely enjoy up to about 400 milligrams of caffeine a day. That's roughly 3 to 4 cups of brewed coffee. The key is balance. Pairing coffee or tea with enough hydration, watching out for caffeine hiding in sodas or energy drinks, and listening to your body's signals. Your kidneys don't need perfection. They need consistency, moderation, and the reassurance that you're looking out for them with every sip. Phosphorus is one of those minerals that sounds harmless. It builds strong bones and fuels our cells. But when kidneys begin to struggle, too much phosphorus becomes like an unwelcome crowd at a small dinner party. There simply isn't enough space to handle them all, and so they spill into the bloodstream, pulling calcium from your bones to keep balance. The result? Bones grow weaker, blood vessels stiffen, and kidneys face even more stress. I think of my patient Louise, who loved her cheese spreads and colas. When her kidney function dipped, her phosphorus levels climbed dangerously high, leaving her bones brittle and her joints aching. Together, we found simple swaps, choosing fresh yogurt instead of processed cheese, sparkling water instead of soda, and roasted vegetables instead of nut-heavy snacks. Her bones strengthened, her kidneys stabilized, and she told me she felt as though she'd been given back a little piece of freedom. Foods highest in phosphorus include dairy products, organ meats, nuts, seeds, and dark sodas. While these are fine in moderation for healthy kidneys, those already at risk should tread carefully. A 2018 study in Kidney International showed that high phosphorus levels in patients with kidney disease were linked with more hospitalizations and fractures. The good news is that by being mindful, favoring fresh foods, moderating dairy, and limiting colas, you can ease your kidneys' workload and keep your bones strong enough to carry you through the years ahead. Alcohol is woven into many of life's celebrations, but when it comes to your kidneys, it can act less like a cheerful guest and more like a reckless intruder. Each drink sets off a triple burden. First, alcohol acts as a diuretic, making you lose fluid quickly. Dehydration leaves your kidneys trying to scrub the blood with little water to work with, like trying to wash a muddy floor with only a damp rag. Second, when the body breaks down alcohol, it produces toxic byproducts that your kidneys must clear, adding to their workload. Third, alcohol raises blood pressure, and persistent high pressure slowly scars the kidneys, a leading cause of kidney failure worldwide. I remember counseling Robert, a retired mechanic who enjoyed several beers each evening. His swelling ankles and rising creatinine told us his kidneys were paying the price. By cutting back to just one drink a day and replacing the rest with sparkling water and lime, he not only shed the swelling but also regained energy to tinker in his workshop. The science is clear. People who drink heavily, more than 2 drinks per day, have a far greater risk of developing chronic kidney disease. But moderation is possible. For women, 1 drink a day. For men, 2 at most. And for those already living with kidney disease, sometimes the safest path is to avoid alcohol altogether. The aim is in deprivation, it's protection, so your body can celebrate life's milestones for many more years. Potassium is often called the heart's mineral. It steadies your heartbeat, keeps muscles strong, and balances fluids. But when kidneys weaken, potassium can build up like water behind a dam with no release valve. Too much in the blood, called hyperkalemia, can cause muscles to feel heavy, heart rhythms to wobble, and in severe cases, even stop the heart. I think of Maria, a vibrant grandmother who loved bananas and orange juice every morning. Her blood work revealed dangerously high potassium and rising creatinine. She was frightened, but together we crafted a diet of low-potassium foods: apples, grapes, green beans, and rice. And within weeks, her levels returned to safety. She didn't have to give up all her favorites forever, but she learned the power of balance. High-potassium foods include bananas, avocados, oranges, potatoes, tomatoes, spinach, and kale. They're wonderfully healthy for most people, but for someone with kidney disease, they can quietly tip the scales toward danger. A 2016 study in the Clinical Journal of the American Society of Nephrology found that uncontrolled potassium levels were linked with higher hospitalization and mortality rates in people with chronic kidney disease. Yet hope is strong. Monitoring intake, choosing low potassium options, and working with your doctor or dietitian can protect kidney function while still nourishing your body. Remember, your kidneys are like orchestra conductors. They need every instrument in balance. When potassium stays steady, the music of your body plays on in harmony. There's no denying the comfort of fried foods. The golden crunch of fried chicken, the salty bite of fries, the warm hush puppies at a family gathering. But inside the body, these foods tell a very different story. Fried foods are loaded with unhealthy fats that creep into the arteries, raising cholesterol and blood pressure, 2 villains that slowly choke the kidneys of healthy blood flow. They're also usually drenched in sodium, piling on more strain. Over time, the excess calories lead to weight gain and obesity, another silent accomplice of kidney disease. I once cared for a man named James, who lived for his weekly fish fry with friends. His weight climbed, his blood pressure soared, and soon his creatinine levels followed. Instead of asking him to give up the ritual he loved, we worked on the cooking method. He bought an air fryer, seasoned his fish with herbs and lemon, and baked sweet potato wedges instead of deep frying them. To his surprise, the food still brought joy, but his body no longer paid the same price. Within months, his weight dropped, his blood pressure improved, and his kidney function steadied. Studies, including one in nutrients in 2016, confirm that diets high in fried foods increase the risk of obesity, diabetes, and hypertension, all key drivers of kidney damage. The message isn't that you must abandon flavor or tradition, but rather find kinder ways of preparing your meals so that your kidneys can keep serving you faithfully. We've journeyed through the hidden traps that so often sit on our plates: salt, sugar, processed meats, caffeine, phosphorus, alcohol, high-potassium foods, and fried indulgences. Each can quietly wear down the kidneys, yet each also offers a doorway to change. By choosing water over soda, fresh meat over processed, herbs over salt, and baking over frying, you protect kidney function and give yourself more energy, more freedom, more years of independence. At any age, change is possible. I'm Dr. Brian. Thank you for joining me here on Vital Science for Seniors. Protect your health, protect your joy.